Joining us right now is Brockton Mayor Robert Sullivan. Mr. Mayor, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure again, Dan. I appreciate you having me on every week. It's great. Thank you.
Well, now, Mr. Mayor, today you're joining us on yet another cold day, and how is the city responding to these cold temperatures?
It's bitter cold. We still have our warming centers set up at the main library on Main Street, the Thomas P. Kennedy Library. We partnered last Thursday, actually. We had a conversation with Father Bill's Mainspring. They are extending their hours of operation. They are also expanding the square footage, so more people are coming inside. So again, we are out there right now. BEMA, Brockton Emergency Management, are out at night giving blankets and jackets and hats and gloves and scarves. And my director of social services is doing the same thing during the day. So, we want to make sure that people that are on the streets have, what they need. And then again, if they would love to come off the streets, we have the warming centers and the facilities to keep them warm.
And we're also in the midst of cold, flu, and other viruses that are also in the area at the moment.
Yeah, much like last week, we're tracking it. The Board of Health, Dr. Eno Montier, is tracking it. It seems like everybody I know is, dealing with either bronchial or nasal or head colds, and it's running rampant through my own house. So, I'm cautioning everybody. If you don't feel well, stay home. If you don't feel well or your children don't feel well, don't send them to school. Go to a primary care. If you have to go to an urgent care, we have quite a few in the city of Brockton. But this is, across not just the county, but the Commonwealth. There's a lot of flu, and the weather and the brutal cold isn't helping the cause either.
Now, Mr. Mayor, I wanted to ask you about something else that's been going on kind of at a national level. We know that ICE is going to be doing more raids, and we've already seen them carried out in some parts of Massachusetts already. Do you have any idea if this is going to be happening in Brockton, or do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I don't have any idea if it's going to happen in Brockton or not, but the superintendent of schools and I are collaborating on this. Much like if anybody shows up at any school, that's not going to disrupt the students and staff's day. So the principals would ask any type of federal personnel to go see the superintendent at her office, and the same thing on the city side. If someone goes to a building, they're going to be asked to come see the mayor at City Hall as well. So again, the core thing is education, and we have a certain amount of time during the day to educate the next generation. And so, Dr. Tahiliani and I had a conversation about this yesterday. But again, it's a wait and see approach in terms of I don't know if anybody is coming to Brockton or not. But that's the standard at this time.
Now, you are going to be conducting a ribbon cutting tomorrow for a housing resource center?
I am thrilled about this, Dan. So Father Bill's Mainspring acquired some federal land, which is on Manley Street, which abuts the VA hospital on Belmont Street. They have built an unbelievable campus setting with wraparound services. Brockton Neighborhood Health Center has an on-site health clinic there for our homeless population. It's a game changer. So it's helping homeless folks, veterans that could be on the streets as well. It's providing educational opportunity, job opportunities, health opportunities. So I want to thank Father Bill's Mainspring and John Yazinski. They are going to be relocating from downtown Brockton to Manley Street. And, I've supported it. The state supported it. The federal delegation supported it. And tomorrow it's a lot of hard work coming to fruition, and I'll be there proudly at 11 o'clock.
And also, there are some new owners for the teams for the city's Frontier League team.
Yeah, this is exciting as well. Frontier League is a professional baseball team affiliated with Major League Baseball, and we have a new ownership group, a father and son, the Janacheks from New York. They own the New York Boulders, which is another team in the Frontier League. Another investor is Sean Riley, who has been in baseball for most of his adult life, and so they're bringing a wealth of knowledge. We're going to actually be having a press conference here at City Hall, 11:15 a.m. on the 29th, which is next week. But again, it's going to be quality baseball. It's going to be family friendly. It's going to be price appropriate. And I'm a big baseball fan, Dan, so I'm really excited about baseball this summer at Campanelli Stadium here in the City of Champions.
Now, speaking of champions, you've also put out the Champions Update for the year.
I have. I did a year in review for 2024. Thank you for acknowledging that, Dan. And, we really wanted to capture and, reiterate, we really have had a lot of success. My mantra is we're better together. We have to work together. It's all through collaboration and team building. And, there's a lot more to come here in the city of Brockton, but I am proud to be the mayor of 106,000 residents. And, we are rolling up the sleeves and getting the job done with an eye on the prize, and we're welcoming and inclusive. And, there's a lot more work to do, but the year in review is summarized in that newsletter, and I appreciate you acknowledging that.
Now, one other thing you also, the school department is asking, I believe it's students, to be careful with how their laptops are being used?
Yeah, I mean, again, they're assets that are owned. We've had a couple that have been damaged or broken. We actually had one battery issue where the fire department had to work on it. But, we just want people to, make sure in this day and age in education, your computer is the key tool. And so we want to make sure that it's treated with, respect. And we discussed it the other night, superintendent and her team, and as the chair of the school committee and work in the school committee. So, again, it's just kind of a gentle reminder, educate and inform people that, computers are expensive, number one, but they're vital tools, and you need to just protect them and take care of them.
All righty, Mr. Mayor. Well, we're going to have to leave it right there, but thank you so much for speaking with us. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. I'll speak to you next week.
Indeed. Brockton Mayor Robert Sullivan. Brockton Mayor